Hello, friends and allies. My name is Amethyst Shaver, and I am autistic. We live in a world where, wrongly, some lives are considered to be worth less than others. Where disability is so synonymous with tragedy that people say and mean things like, if I became paralyzed, I would kill myself. Or, I don't think life would be worth living if I couldn't see. Or, if you know your baby is going to be disabled, the only humane thing to do is to make sure that they aren't born in the first place. We live in a world where wheelchair users are approached and told that they are inspirations simply for being outside of their homes or attending to their jobs or grocery shopping like everyone else. Where visibly disabled people are openly told, I don't know how you do it, but I would not be able to do it, as if our lives are so bleak that the able norm cannot fathom why we have not yet committed suicide. We live in a world where disabled people with cognitive, intellectual, and developmental disabilities are spoken down to, patronized, and treated like children, or worse, like animals, incapable of thought or motivation, denied even the opportunity to communicate. Where disabled people are institutionalized, segregated, stripped of our autonomy and right to choose for ourselves. Where disabled children and adults alike are mistreated, traumatized, and abused, all in the name of treatment. Where disabled people are routinely denied equal opportunities for education and employment, medical care and organ transplants, the right to adopt or to raise their own biological children, the right to autonomy and self-direction, and equal protection under the law. This is ableism. Ableism is a most insidious enemy. Its reach is all-encompassing. The very pillars of our society, our medical establishments, our educational systems, our government and all of its departments, have been built on a foundation of ableist ideals and practices. Ableism is present in our sociological framework and in the day-to-day beliefs, values, and actions of the average Canadian citizen. While an abstract idea to the able majority, to the disabled community, ableism is a very real oppression, something we know intimately and something we struggle against every day. And it is this culture of ableism, this pervasive, chronic devaluing of disabled lives, that has led us to this point. In the past 5 years, over 70 people with disabilities have been murdered by their parents or caregivers in North America alone. Each life lost is a true tragedy, but these are not isolated incidents, separate and unconnected. The truth is that there is a deep, ingrained prejudice in our society that asserts that disabled life is not worth living, that to be disabled is worse than dead. And so when one of our own is murdered, little attention is given to the victim of these horrific crimes. Media coverage and public discourse surrounding these killings overwhelmingly supports and even defends the action of the murderer, calling these killings understandable, inevitable, or even merciful. This is vastly different from the reaction when a non-disabled person is murdered by their parent. Further demonstrating how these murders are sanctioned by society is the fact that parents who murder their disabled children are much less likely to be charged at all, and if they are charged, their sentences are consistently shorter or less severe than the sentences received by parents who murder their non-disabled children. Some never see any jail time at all. This, in turn, leads to more murders of disabled people. This is injustice in its purest form. This is where the devaluing of disabled life has brought us. Because our society's understanding of what disability is and what it means to be disabled is informed by the prejudiced opinions of the able majority, it is easy. It is easy to so objectify and dehumanize disabled lives that we become exactly that, objects of pity, burdens on our families, less than human. This is why it is so important for society to shift towards a person-centered view and understanding of disability. It's time to listen to disabled people. Because if people would stop and they would listen to us, they would hear what we are saying, that our lives are worth living, our lives are valuable, we want to live. They would hear our voices saying, see our hands signing, feel our hearts aching for justice. And my hope is that then our society would stop seeing us as a collection of impairments, as scary statistics, as a disease or an epidemic, as shameful deviations from the norm, and start seeing us as individuals, wholly human, and deserving of the same rights and personhood as everyone else. It is ignorance that leads to fear and hate, but it is education that is the cure for ignorance. As an autistic person, that is the only cure I want. It is my greatest desire that, altogether, the disabled community and our allies can move the conversation away from negativity, hate, and fear, and towards acceptance, love, and equality. It is my dream, and the dream of so many other disabled advocates and activists, that one day we will live in a world where disabled lives are known to be worth just as much as non-disabled lives, where the murder of disabled people, and not our lives, is rightly understood to be the injustice and tragedy that it is, where disabled people are leading the conversation about disability and educating the non-disabled majority. I truly believe that by staying strong and keeping faith, even in the face of such adversity, such violence, such hate, and that by working together, the disabled community and our allies alike, that we can amplify our voices so the whole world hears what we have to say. Together we can make a better, safer, fairer world for the next generation of disabled children. Thank you.